It's amazing. I've talked to a lot of people that have traveled internationally. I haven't had the ability to yet. I plan on doing it at one point in time,
Come
but
visit me.
but I will. I don't think I'm not gonna. No. So, but what they tell me is that when you leave this country and you go elsewhere,
Hmm.
people who have nothing, and I mean nothing,
Hmm.
can still be happy. It
Absolutely.
doesn't take a car, doesn't take, a lot of money. They've got water, they've got food, they've got a roof over their head, they've got family, and they're happy. And I think you've been gone a while. I think we've lost that. We've lost touch with that in this country. And I would hope to get it back.
They also have faith. They have faith in themselves, they have faith in their family, and they have spiritual faith. And I like things like that. And I believe that everybody in the world has that in common. It doesn't matter your culture or religion, your language or skin color or whatever. No, a smile is universal. And when people offer food and share things like that's universal too. And in this culture, you cannot turn down a second plate of food. That's an insult. So just be prepared to eat and be prepared to be taken very well cared of. And also have the pleasure of reciprocating that as well. And so I've seen that as part of this culture. But no, the United States is fine. We have this. I just think people need to slow down, calm down a little bit, and just get back to the basics. Get back, as I mentioned, the way that we were raised by our parents and grandparents. And if we can get back to that sort of simple sort of mind frame and communication, people have much more effective and fulfilling relationships. What's happening is people are texting too much and they're not calling or they're not seeing one another because it may be COVID. People got isolated. And it's not easy. It's really the tough road is to get back into that. The easy way is just to keep doing what you're doing. But the more challenging way is to walk next door to your neighbors and to say hello, or to make that extra effort to not break a plan and to see your friends, or to do a follow-up email or phone call for courtesy and not be latent about it because people are expecting that. And so as long as you can do those sort of things on a daily basis, it won't pile up, you won't forget about it, and you'll be invited to a lot of parties and events because you're showing interest in that sort of relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, I asked my youngest son when he was 18, 19. This is about 10 years ago. But he was so good at texting that he could in class have his phone in his pocket and be able to text without looking at the number, the letters as to
Hmm.
what he was. I mean, he was so gifted at texting. He did it so much. So I asked him one day, I said, "So don't you find that texting takes away from the personal attention of having a conversation with somebody?" And he said, "No, I'm fine with texting. Besides, I can talk to five girls at the same time when I'm texting, and I can't do that when I'm on the phone." So it's like, well, like, okay, but
What's your son's name? The Fonz? And that sounds great. Five girls at the same time.
he
Remember
was,
our generation.
oh
We
yeah,
had to call people's homes to ask permission to speak to our friends.
yes, we did, because Dad would pick up the phone and it would be like, "Who's this?"
That's right.
Oh, "Can I talk to Lisa, please?" And but nowadays none of that's. But I think you're right. We've lost a human touch, and it would be great to get that human touch back. I got to ask you, in Costa Rica, what's the homeless situation like?
It's there. And I see it a lot in San Jose. But really, what I see is it's more of somebody that's lost their way. It's usually a young man or a young woman that might be indulging too much.
Oh, yes.
And so that's what I see. And so, but other areas where, yes, it is a third world country, and I have seen individuals out there asking for limosna, asking for alms from people. And you can tell that this individual might be a senior citizen or have a handicap or something that's not drug or bad habit related. And a lot of people, including myself, not just give money, but then all of a sudden you ask, is there something that you need specifically? I need some sneakers. I need a jacket. I need something. you get that for them. And it's not like a one and a done. Like in my neighborhood, there was a corner, and there was Doña Katia. She must have been at least 75 years old. And this woman was out there every day, sweetest woman. And she was literally almost supporting her family. I didn't ask too many questions, but this woman was out there asking for money and saying, blessings for people. And she was very smart. She remembered people's names too. And so when I would see her, I would give something. And then when Christmas time came along, I asked if there was something specific. She mentioned the sneakers for, our grandchild, and I got that for her. And so there are certain ways to do it. Like I'll give somebody money on the corner if they're juggling knives or doing some sort of acrobatic event. Yeah, sure, I'll give you a couple dollars. But then when you see somebody every day and you realize they're part of your community, it's something where people want to take care of them. And it's interesting how neighbors will talk about this individual that you saw and they start learning about them. And so this is a culture that really likes to take care of their own. And I've seen on the side, like if you walk past the banana plantation, there'll be a worker there and you're just walking. He's like, hey, would you like a few bananas? It's just, people are always sharing, and they're always, once again, trying to make people feel welcome. But I don't see it that bad. I don't see really tent encampments here. We just see certain pockets of the city that might have individuals, as I mentioned, that